I'm Richard Fletcher. I'm a regional engineer for BAM. We're civil engineering contractors. My job is to specialise in temporary works and maritime areas.
I'm Jess Anderson, engineering manager for BAM. I work in temporary works design and engineering management in projects across the UK.
I started in a temporary works design office and then went out on site as a setting out engineer. I went into site management and then found that my strength was on the technical side. So I've worked for contractors and consultants and had my own consultancy, and now end up working out maritime engineering methods and also large temporary works.
I started at BAM as a student on an ICE Quest scholarship. I started out on site setting out on a large maritime project. I then started working with Richard in temporary works design, and I've been doing that ever since.
For me, I think it was Boston Tidal Barrier, which is fairly recent. It's 2015. And the reason is that as a temporary works engineer and being involved with designers in method of civil engineering, we used a lot of the permanent works as temporary works, and we recycled a lot of materials, and that is quite exciting to be on a project like that.
For me, it's the Great Yarmouth Third River Crossing, which is a large bascule bridge in Norfolk. It's the first project I got to see from start to finish, and I got to manage the whole temporary works throughout the entire project. You don't need to know everything now. We don't expect you to know everything. We want you to come with enthusiasm, having done some research about the company, but you do not need to know everything there is to know about civil engineering.
I think also when we meet people, we want them to talk about things that they're enthusiastic about. So it's not necessarily job focused to find out whether that person is a good engineer. We don't want you to sit there quietly. We want you to ask as many questions as possible and engage. I think digital engineering is going to take more and more of a place. I think being able to think in 3 dimensions, being able to understand how things fit together and work together is really what it's all about.
I think communication is a very important skill. Now a lot of us are working remotely. You need to be able to communicate your ideas clearly to people across the UK and around the world.
The number of times in the past 50 years I've gotten a tangle by getting involved in detail, in technical issues and in engineering. And I think sometimes you need to step back and resort to first principles, because the people we can really rely on are Newton and Archimedes. And if you can approach things again from first principles, that's really good.
Surround yourself with people who have knowledge and experience and ask them lots and lots of questions.
Oh, which is another one of mine. Don't talk too much, listen, listen, listen. For me, this was about 15 years ago when we had a graduate come to an interview. All he wanted to talk about was the rebuilding his Land Rover in his garage. Now, that seems a bit bizarre that we should be interested in that, but he talked with such passion about the challenges, which were true engineering challenges of how to work on this Land Rover. That impressed us a lot. Yes, that's a difficult one, but I would encourage people to talk about things they're passionate about. So don't necessarily try and make up things or fluff your way through on stuff you don't know fully about. Really tell us about things you're passionate about. And also, if you become involved in those things in a wider way that encompasses communication with other people, putting together publications, anything like that, All that is good. I often say we only do interesting work. We only do interesting jobs. We like a really good engineering challenge. And the only way to tackle that is to work effectively as a team. So the great thing about the work we do at BAM is we do feel like we're part of a cohesive team, and that's great.
Well, we work on such a wide range of projects, and the company will allow you to develop yourself in the way that you would like to and choose the direction that you would like to head in, whether it be maritime, highways, rail. We have everything.
I think in civil engineering, you can't take any single part of that away and say this is the basis of what makes a successful job. It needs a good rounded view. And also, I think experience of all those things pays dividends. And I think that certainly getting people like ourselves who've been in the industry, listening to people who've been in the industry, and getting a wider view of how not only the engineering works, but the money works and the resources work, that will be where you need to come from, yeah. You can learn civil engineering from a book, but really what you need to do, where most of your experience will come from, is being on site yourself, but also listening to old hands. And myself, I'm definitely an old hand, but Jess has had a good few years under her belt as well. And listening to people who've a wide range of experience will teach you a lot.
I think it's also a brilliant opportunity to understand what it is you're going into when you move into the industry, because I think a lot of people don't have that. They don't know what's going to happen when they arrive there. So this is a fantastic opportunity to just see what it is that's out there and choose the path that you would like to go down.
Something that a lot of the people we bring in as graduates and apprentices, they trip up on not fully understanding the difference between contractors and engineers and what our place is in constructing structures and in the maritime world. And I think that to know where you want to go, you need to be well briefed in the difference between those two, and also how the technical fields differ from the management fields as well. I think the clue is in the question, and for me, so much of what we do in engineering is about method. It really is. I know you're trying to lead on sustainability and other stuff, but quite honestly, when you build something, we know what we're going to build, but the key to it is knowing how to build it. And all those other things will come into it when you consider all the constraints. So method and how you build it, absolutely key. I think the important thing is that BAM at the moment has so much work to do in the next few years, and we are under-resourced at the moment. We need really good people, and we need them quickly in the next couple of years, certainly. On our website, there are vacancies on there, and I would encourage anyone, whether they're applying for a vacancy on there or whether they just need to find out about careers at BAM, contact somebody who works there and you'll be speaking to the right person very quickly. We need good people.
Thank you for watching. To see all the great work we do, go to bam.com.